train it. Basically, it was a tax bill. And there were all sorts of objections to it that I won't get into. You'll hear it in the speech. But I said to the president, I said, I make a motion to arm the militia and to fund the training. Do I have a second? Mr. President, no man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism of the very worthy gentleman that has just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights, and therefore I hope that it will not be thought disrespectful to those gentlemen if entertaining as I do opinions of a character very opposite to theirs, I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before this House is one of terrible consequences of the country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery. And the proportion of the magnitude of the question ought to be the freedom of the debate. It's only in this way that we can hope to arrive at truth and fulfill the great obligation we hold to God and to the country. Should I hold back my opinions at such a time for fear of giving offense, I should consider myself as guilty of treason toward my country and an act of disloyalty to the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, it is natural to a man to indulge in illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against the painful truth and listen to the song of that siren till she transforms us into beasts. Is this the part of wise men engaged in the great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of the number of those who have an eye see not and who have an ears hear not the things which so nearly concern our temporal salvation? For my own part, whatever anguish of spirit may cost, I'm willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst of it, and provide for it. I know of no way of judging the future but by the past. And judging by the past, I wish to know what there is in the conduct of the worthy gentlemen that just addressed the House to justify the hope by which these gentlemen are pleased to comfort themselves. Well, I'm 226 years old. So just forgot what I said next. Well, at any rate, it's the first time I've ever done that.
Such trying times, I'm at a loss for words. Yeah.
That's never happened. Well, anyway.
First time for everything. That's okay.
Is this the part of wise men engaged in the great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of the number of those who have an eye see not and who have an ears hear not the things which so nearly concern our temporal salvation? For my own part, whatever anguish of spirit may cost, I'm willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst of it, and provide for it. So I want to know why these gentlemen had such hope. Is it that insidious smile by which our petition has recently been received? Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comports with these warlike preparations which cover our waters and darken our lands. Our fleets and armies necessary to work with love and reconciliation. Have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled that force must now be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments to which kings resort. I ask gentlemen, sir, what means this martial array if its purpose is not to force us to submission? Can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? No, sir, there are none. They're meant for us. They're meant for no other. They've been sent over to bind and rivet upon us those chains which the British ministry have for so long been forging. Then what have we to oppose them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we've been trying that for the last 10 years. Have we anything new to offer on the subject? Nothing. We've held the subject up and every light to which it is capable, but it has all been in vain. Shall we resort to entreaty and humble supplication? What terms shall we find that have not already been exhausted? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. We've done everything that could have been done to avert the storm that is now coming on. We have petitioned. We have remonstrated. We have supplicated. We have prostrated ourselves before the throne and begged it to oppose itself and arrest the tyrannical hands of the ministry of the Parliament. They tell our petitions have been ignored, our remonstrances have produced additional violence and insults, our supplications have been disregarded, and we have been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne. In vain after these things may we indulge a fond hope of peace and reconciliation. There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean to preserve inviolate those inestimable liberties for which we've so long been contending, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle for which we've so long been involved, in which we pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our contest may be attained, we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight and appeal to arms, and the God of hosts is all that is left of us. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be next week or next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed and a British Guard is stationed in every house? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the effectual means of resistance by lying supinely on our backs and hugging with the elusive band of hope until our enemies shall have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak if we make proper use of those means which the God of nature hath placed in our power. 3 millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty in such a country as that which we possess are invincible against any force our enemy may send against us. Besides, sir, we have no choice. It is now too late to retire from the contest, if we were base enough to desire it. Our chains have been forged. Our clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable. And let it come. I repeat it, sir, let it come. It is vain, sir, to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen cry, peace, peace. But there is no peace. The war has actually begun. The next gale that shall sweep from the north shall bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it the gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? I know